What's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world? When you know you're going to throw up but haven't yet. That was the worst. When I was little, I couldn't stop once I started. I thought I would never get a break to breathe. I was convinced one time that I would die by suffocating because I couldn't stop throwing up. Thankfully I outgrew that and haven't thrown up in years. I had norovirus a few years back, and if my mom weren't there I would definitely have suffocated on my own vomit. I was throwing up so hard, so often, that I legitimately couldn't get a break to suck down air until she came to check on me and gave me a hard slap between my shoulders that paused the vomiting just long enough to suck in some air. It's so scary when you're just puking and puking and puking and your lungs are screaming for air but your stomach is unrelenting. I remember crying and my mom just saying it's going to be alright. I just thought no it won't, I'm going to die. It was really scary. I have this when I get panic attacks and it scares me. Freshman year of college, I didn't go to school for about a month because my anxiety started making me feel nauseous. Once I realized that it was almost entirely mental and I wasn't actually sick, I quickly got better, but the anxiety itself took a bit longer to get a grip on. I had this past semester. I would be afraid to leave my apartment in case I got the stomach flu while I was out and end up stuck somewhere. I also stopped eating for a while because every time I ate I felt nauseous, and being constantly hungry made me feel nauseous, and I was stuck in a vicious cycle. Fortunately, Lexapro fixed this for me. I literally just stick my finger into the back of my throat. I'd rather puke than sit there feeling like it for an hour. I can't do it. I can't. I hate being nauseous, but I'm also emetophobic. Throwing up is the actual worst. I avoid it at all costs. It's like ripping a band-aid off. Just get it over with and move on with your life. All of this. For Halloween this last year I attended a friend's party. I knew there would be drinking and I had to establish dominance when I walked in. Brought a bottle of Jameson with me and proceeded to finish half the bottle by myself. Other friends came in and wanted me to drink with them. They had a mixture of Fireball, coconut rum, and Jose Silver. After a few shots and mixed drinks I was starting to feel it pretty good. Well, one of our friends decided to go to the local liquor store and asked if I wanted to go. She wanted to try the Crown Apple but didn't want the whole thing and asked if I would drink half. Me being already fucked, I said of course. We get back to the party and she drinks enough for the bottom of a solo cup, and with convincing and enough chanting I finish the bottle. We get back to the party and she drinks enough for the bottom of a solo cup, and with convincing and enough chanting I finish the bottle. It was at that moment I knew I fucked up. I was led outside to cool down as I was sweating, slurring hard, and stumbling. I sat down in the lawn chair knowing it was coming. After 30 minutes it started and I threw up so much I didn't have a hangover the next morning. Like, literally was nothing but alcohol, undercooked pigs in a blanket, and bad decisions. TL, doctor, I fucked up badly. Swallowing food or liquid that doesn't choke you but struggles to slide down the gullet anyways. Goddamn chips. I work with people with swallowing disorders. Take a bite of something slick when this happens, for example banana, pudding, applesauce, etc. Takes the shards on a slip and slide down your esophagus. I hate this. It hurts but in the most uncomfortable way. When your butthole itches but you have tight pants and cannot scratch it properly. I'll post a good feeling to counteract this one. When your asshole itches and you rip a fart that scratches it just right. When you were a kid at your friend's house and their parents started arguing in front of you. It's worse when it's your friend and his dad. This happened once to me at a sleepover. My friends got in a screaming match with her mom and the dad made me and another friend sit outside until it was over. My friend and her mom got into a screaming fit. My friend took a steak from a plate and threw it at her. I've never had such a poker face like I had in that moment. My friend took a steak from a plate and threw it at her. WTF, lol. So what did the mom do? I was forced to listen to a whole confrontation about the dad cheating on the mom once. My friend was still asleep next to me in bed and heard none of it, and then I didn't know if I should say anything. I could barely look anyone in the eye that day. It's possible your friend heard it too but was too embarrassed to let on that he was awake. I had a friend like this. My mom would make me go to his house when he called. It was always so uncomfortable over there. His parents would yell at him, his younger brothers, or each other right in front of me. His dad was short and had a high-pitched voice. His mom was taller and had a lower voice. It was like the Jeffersons, except they were white and there was nothing funny about any of it. It just made me really uncomfortable. I watched my friend's drunk dad beat his mom onto the ground and choke her with a belt. My buddy just got up and shut the door and went back to Halo 2. Getting in the shower. Realizing you have to take a shit, and then sitting on the toilet dripping wet and freezing while shitting your guts out. When you bite into a food that's supposed to be soft and something crunches. When you touch the toilet water. When you throw a turd and the water splashes your butthole. It's called Poseidon's kiss, kinda like sexual assault. Sneezing when you're on a period. Like birthing a jellyfish. Or being sat down for a lengthy period, pun intended, of time and then standing up. Me and my mother have a secret code word for when this happens, Niagara Falls. I had the flu a few years ago and in the middle of it also started my period. I coughed and felt that. Gosh. Discovered I bled all over my pants and the bed. Was too sick to care, went back to sleep in my own period blood. Getting your damn socks wet, especially if the water's cold, like someone tracked snow into the house and you step into partially melted snow/slush. I don't know what it is but sometimes I feel really weird. I don't know how to describe it but at that moment I just don't want to exist. I also feel like throwing up and sleeping and crying at the same time. That sounds really bad, and a lot like anxiety/depression. You should see someone to get a mental checkup. That is anxiety, my dude. I feel like that 99% of the time because of generalized anxiety disorder. It sucks. You should probably talk to a mental health professional. I think I get it too, it's very strange and I never knew what it was. It would happen randomly, sometimes it would happen multiple times in a day, and sometimes I won't get it for another month. But when it happens I just can't do anything. If I was playing something I would have to pause it, and if I was in class, I would just stare at the ceiling because I knew that the feeling would pass soon. Edit. Lately when it's been happening I would throw up. I think I get it too, it's very strange and I never knew what it was. It would happen randomly, sometimes it would happen multiple times in a day. I felt like this once, even though it was for a split second I pulled myself together quickly and started thinking what caused this. To me it was because I was thinking of the future. I was being so anxious of my expectations and what if I didn't meet them. I started thinking of the people I would disappoint and as soon as I felt that feeling I thought of the present. Try not to anticipate your feelings, plan ahead but do not expect for the plans to always work out. Sometimes things are not made to be and it's for the best. It will help you grow stronger and learn from your failures. I'm the type who analyzes himself. Every time I experience something I try to give it a logical explanation. At least this way I get to distract myself from drifting into bad thoughts and help me understand myself better. I may be wrong though, playful face. Seeing people try their hardest to succeed and still failing. I knew this girl back when I was a kid that wanted to be a ballerina. She tried as hard as possible but she was just not talented at all. You have to respect the effort, but it's just sad to see. That first tiny feeling of a sore throat, or maybe a cough, that warns you that you're about to be sick with a cold/flu. I always get back pain before my cold breaks out. Awkward silence with a crush. And the weird glances you give each other then immediately look away when you catch the other person looking back at you. If it's a crush both ways then this isn't awkward. Just talk about anything or something in the vicinity, both of you will be pleased to have something to talk about, anything to stop this silence. Just don't mention your real doll collection. Yeah, but my mind is like blank when I'm near her. I can't think of anything to say. Anxiety about anxiety. That shit is hell on earth. Is my heart beating too fast? Am I breathing normally, or too much? Am I lightheaded? Did I get dizzy just now? Am I going to get dizzy and fall down? What if I fall down and bust my head open because I got dizzy? Ugh, my heart rate is way up. What if no one finds me? Will I die alone? Is my condition due to anxiety or am I full of cancer and heart disease? What if my speech slurs? Can't I just relax? Why is my mind doing this? I'm going to have diarrhea. Is my vision blurry or did I look at a light? What's that rainbow spinny thing in my eye? I want to run away and keep running. I broke up with a girl because of this. She was so anxious all the time, and sometimes she would tell me that she was anxious about her being anxious in the future. I'm extremely laid back and tend not to worry or dwell on things much, so this was just way too much for me. Felt a huge amount of relief after ending it. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but sometimes I wonder about myself. How do I know I'm really here? How do I know this isn't just a dream I'm gonna wake up from soon? Am I real? Is anyone else real? Who am I? I have a fear of questions that can never be answered by mortal man. That shit keeps me up all night.